Hello everyone, this is Silver17 here, and, well, let me get through this like usual. I do not own this picture, this is not paid video. Okay, alright. Okay, let me just let you guys know, I do not know much about Carnage. I know that he has everything what Venom has, and he can make weapons for a short period of time, and all that, and now I know that he has a healing factor that can regenerate any part of, the arms cut off, or say like a spleen that's got like gouged out or something, like ripped out. It can like reform it too, and all that. And basically, I know is that if he goes to Deku in this version, all you guys know, Carnage is gonna be scared of him. Reasons why. Deku's gonna be freaking heartless. You're gonna see it the way I'm gonna make him. Bakugou is gonna try to attack him, and you're gonna see what will happen. And he won't really care. He'll just do it just because he's trying to attack him, and he doesn't care how he's gonna do it. So he just does it. All right. Okay. So if you guys know anything else about Carnage, like any like secret powers or such, or abilities or whatever, let me know. I know about the Deku will never get sick now. I did not know that, so I know he can never get sick, because Carnage makes him immune to all illnesses. Since he will be, Carnage was with Cletus Cassidy for a very long time until he died of a normal death. So like Null never happened. I'm not putting like Null ever happened and such. Like that was like never happened. So they like Cletus died of a normal death, and this is why Carnage left the Earth and the Marvel universe, traveled into outer space with a spaceship, and then got sent out through the trash, and went on a meteor, went to another universe. Alright. Okay, meteor was like going through outer space. Someone opened up a rift for the dimensions, and then he's like in the My Hero Academia world. So I'm gonna make Carnage this way. I'm gonna give Deku armor. Heck, I'm even gonna give him a mask to wear with the Carnage symbiote. Just not like a helmet or anything, just like a mask that would he'll have like a normal Spider-Man / Agent Venom looking costume. He'll get like some armor and stuff. I mean, he can protect Deku, no problem. The durability, the power, the energy consumption, all that, it's way too high. I mean, so I already know is that the stamina is too much. He can do 24 hours before ever feeling tired. So, yeah, I know, but I still want to make him look cool. If I could draw it, I probably would, but I don't have any picture of it, so yeah. But, the face will be, though, mostly like this. Like what you see here with the eyes and such. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's all I gotta say. And, yeah. Because wherever let's just say Carnage has been in the My Hero Academia world for about week already before it started the anime. Like he came, crashed down, and he's been there for a week. So yeah, let's just go to the start of the anime. But we're doing it like everything happened normally, but Deku did break down at one point and then made another personality to take over because he couldn't take it anymore. And such, what happened is, that personality has been taking it, and he was about to, Baku, what he says in canon, happens. So we're gonna go to that. Alright. Okay, so, this is what if Deku got Carnage, part 1. Alright. So, as Baku is telling Deku that he's quirkless, he'll never get an UA, and nothing he does ever matters. He should just go swine off of the roof and wish for a better, to have a quirk in his next life. As Deku's gripping his fist because he's so tired of Bakugo's like constant abuse and just putting him down. He's about to say something. He's about to get up, but right before this happens, in his subconscious he hears someone's voice saying, "No, no, no, no. We don't need that to happen. What you're gonna do will cause us problems, or should I say me." As this person goes, "Wait, I'm sorry." He goes, "No, I'm sorry. I should have realized I should have stayed in control." As he just tells him to sleep. As, this personality starts fading away. As Deku opens up his eyes again, as he gets up and just starts making a little chuckle. And Bakugo's going like, "What's wrong, Deku?" As Deku just looks at him, and his eyes are different. They have a more coldness to them. As he just tells Bakugo, "Nothing, Bakugo. Nothing at all. I'm perfectly alright. How have you been for these past couple years or so? Picking on me? Acting like you're better than me. Saying you could be the number one hero. But look at you. You're already in middle school. You still pick on people like you're the top dog because of your quirk. It's just mildly. It's just really, really pathetic. When will you grow up and smell the coffee? Or whatever you need to smell to understand. That attitude will never get you anywhere. And I hope you realize it soon before something bad happens to you." As Deku proceeds to walk over to his desk. Well, his chair and his desk. As everyone was in shock that Deku just stood up to Bakugo without even flinching. And Bakugo was just getting pissed. As the teacher says, "Midoriya, why did you..." As then Bakugo, when he about to throw an explosion, try to hit Deku's hand. Deku had a pencil in his book. As he moves it out of the way, leaned back a little, and then when Bakugo's hand, was on the table, as he saw an explosion, immediately Deku reacted with the pencil in his hand. You can probably guess what. As then Bakugo was screaming out in pain, and everyone see it. The pencil is basically in Bakugo's hand. As Deku just kind of rips it out, and he just says, "Oh, come on, Bakugo. Did it hurt? Your explosions hurt a lot more than that. But now you know how pain really feels. You should really get that fixed." As he doesn't even grin at it. Well, he makes a little grin. And the teacher says, "Midoriya, why did you do that?" He goes, "Oh, don't start with me, Teach. You let him always slide when he comes to pick on me. And everyone else in this class, physically or mentally, picks on me. Calls me worthless. Insignificant. I can't do anything because I'm quirkless. I don't have a quirk. And you know what? Who cares? Quirks aren't everything. What happens if somebody got rid of all quirks around the world? Mass genocide, you say? And then what? What will happen if suddenly everyone's quirk disappeared? What would all of you do then? Absolutely nothing. That's all what you will do. Because you'll think you're just all useless, not special. And yet here we are, special in our own ways because of our own personalities, and you are all just focused on your quirks. You're all just pathetic. As Deku just literally just grabs his stuff, and the teacher asks, "Where are you going?" He says, "I'm leaving school early. If you have a problem with it, go ahead. Tell the principal. And I'll just tell him everything you've been letting Bakugou do to me." As the teacher just is afraid because Deku's been just looking at him with nothing, no life in his eyes, just coldness, and it's just, that's what I thought. As he does look at everyone else, he says, "Oh, plus, all of you have like very good quirks, but you let Bakugou influence you too much. Don't believe everything he says." And this is still while Bakugou is on the floor, screaming in pain and crying, as Deku does leave. The classroom, he leaves early. Carnage, wasn't a bird as he saw this. He thinks, that kid is a very good host. Alright. I'll wait for him at the right moment. So, when Deku, leaves, like leaving school, the principal sees him with a pencil with blood on it, because what he did. He asks, "Midoriya, where are you?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm leaving school early. I'm not dealing with no Bakugou Katsuki anymore." He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, well." As he just basically does tell the principal everything. And he's in shock that he's been hiding this for years, even from the other schools. And he goes, "Yeah, do whatever you want with that information. Suspend him, tell his mother. I don't care. Heck, he doesn't even deserve to be a hero." But then, he gives the principal the pencil and just says, "Oh, keep that. As a reminder of a student who been hiding his true self from people." As he goes, "What?" "Oh, I made a mask a long time ago. A persona, you can say, to fake who I was. I wasn't scared of Bakugou. I wasn't scared of no one. Everyone here was just annoying. That was it. I don't really feel much besides annoyance, irritations, and, annoyance, sadness, and a little bit of hatred here and there, but nothing much." So yeah. But he does say, though, he has been happy. He has had a few people in the school that were technically good people. But because of Bakugou, they did leave him in the end. As he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Bakugou ruined my life. He made people not talk to me. He told them I was quirkless, and they didn't care. But they still left me either way. Because Bakugou might have, I don't know, threatened him or something." As he just has a smile and goes, "But hey, it was a lot of fun." He's on the ground in the classroom, screaming in pain. As he looks at the pencil, he goes, "Did you?" He goes, "Stabbed it right through his hand?" "Yeah." I guess just has a smile. He goes, "He deserved a lot more, but I figured that was a better punishment than anything else. That's a little reminder of what not to do to somebody. After abusing them for so long, not to expect something to happen to them." So he leaves school. The principal does not go and tell anyone else. He goes to the nurse's office. She comes to Bakugou. She sees the pencils in the teacher's hand, and his homeroom teacher, Bakugou's and Midoriya's teacher that's there, sees the principal, and then he basically talks to him outside as he hears the principal just yelling at him, telling him, "How could you let another student bully another one? Just because he has a quirk does not mean he was allowed to use it on him. As a teacher, you should have been able to protect your students." As he said, "What can I do when someone has an explosion quirk? He could have hurt me, anyone else, and tried to get in his way. That's why I didn't do nothing." It doesn't matter. Then the teacher says, "What? So we're supposed to?" He goes, "No, you're supposed to handle the situation. If you see that they're using their quirk on him, you're supposed to call the police, or inform me about it so that I could call the police and have the student arrested for harming another student." As multiple people hear this, and they're thinking, "Wait, you mean you can literally go to jail for that?" As the nurse says, "Of course you can. It's against the law to use your quirk without a hero license. The laws are there for a reason, so no one gets hurt. And for this young man, it seems like he finally got what he deserved, or at least he got a little taste of what he deserves." As then the Bakugou says, just starts cursing at the nurse. As she says, "You're lucky that he didn't kill you." As he says, that annoying Deku, he couldn't kill anyone." As she says, "You don't know, do you?" As basically he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Because Deku went to a medical facility for his psyche, because his mom did put him there, to see how he is, and the nurse did know about it, but like every school knows about what happened to him because of Bakugou and the friends, and people just pick on him. He finally snapped, as he did break down and tried to do something to himself. He does have scars, like a scar on his, like, I'm not gonna say like stomach, like on the side of his stomach. It's not because of what he did to himself. It's because he got in a fight with someone older, and they were just a villain, and they didn't care about children. So, yeah, that guy though was just taken care of easily. But yeah, he, as a little kid, she doesn't tell no one this because it's his information, but she knows about it, and that's a little thing. So yeah, that's why he went to the medical hospital, for psyche, and then he made a personality to keep himself in control and not lose it. And so that was the Deku that everyone knew. But yeah, so anyways, we're going back to Deku, who's just walking outside of school and just kind of just doesn't care. Like, he just he gets out of his phone, he calls up his mom. She hears the sound of his voice. She goes, "Midoriya, are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, Mom, I'm fine." And she can already tell that he's back to being what he was when he was around 10. And she goes, "What happened?" He goes, just finally gave up on that personality. It was about to, the personality I made was about to attack Bakugou with a chair, and I wasn't going to allow it. But then I ripped into him and told him how I felt. It exploded my desk, trying to hit my hand and my notebook. So I proceeded to lean back and with the pencil, as he told her what he did with it, as she says she shouldn't have done that. But she, that's what she wants to say, but at the same time, she can't because, he's using his quirk in school, and yeah, it's like Bucko should be really put on probation or something in school and such, get treatment. But hey, none, the teacher didn't do anything, so she's just saying I really didn't want to say you shouldn't do that to him, but at the same time, what he did to you back then, bullying you way too much, I'd be able to bully you too with him. It's just, I don't know. He was, yeah, I understand, Mom. I mean, he is heartless, but he does have he's way more understanding to people's feelings, and he is smart. He isn't dense. He won't be so if a girl likes him, he'll know right away. But he just tells his mom that, look, I'm back to being what I am, heartless, okay? I don't care about much, but if you're my mom, I'm still gonna love you and care about you. As he can hear her just start crying, as he does smile, he goes, remember back when I was a kid, when I first broke down and I didn't care about myself? You were the only one who did. And that's why I went to the that's why I went to get my psyche checked out for you. You're the only one there. As, he knows about his father. He knows that in this one Hasashi left. So Inko didn't want to tell him, and then he says, even though Dad didn't care about me, she says, no, he didn't. He goes, why did he leave us? Because I was quirkless? And she says, how did, and he goes, the day I broke down, that was a part of it. And she heard everything. He goes, yep, but you're the only one who stayed by me. So I'm not gonna let no one do this to me. No one's gonna push me around no more. As she's happy, but she says, but you're not gonna become a villain, right? He goes, no, that'll be too easy for me. Trying to be a hero is way more fun. She goes, why? He just says, a challenge. That's the only reason. I think he gets a little bit excited, just saying it. It's more of a challenge. trying to not harm anyone in the process of protecting others. So, why not give it a shot? That's how his real mind works. She knows he's okay with harming others because he can easily do it. You don't need no court to do that, she knows. And so, yeah. Deku says, I'm gonna be, since it's like, as he checks the time, it's like, says in Tokyo and Japan, it's 1:30. He says he's gonna be out for a couple of hours, so he'll get, if you need anything, just text me, what she needs. And he'll go get it. And she says, thank you, Izuku. He goes, no problem, Mom. As, this bird is following him. As, Carnage, is basically the bird. As Carnage is following him, he, flies down to Izuku's shoulder. And he just lands on it. As Izuku's walking, he sees the bird. He just says, a bird. What do you want? As in, all of a sudden, this black ooze is kind of like going on to Deku. As no one's around, so, like, he's just, like, trying to, like, shake it off. And the bird flies away immediately as soon as, like, Carnage gets off of it. He's trying to shake it off and everything else. And then, Carnage basically forms onto him, immediately making the symbiotic relationship happening. So Deku's in it's his subconscious, and then Carnage is basically, talking to him. He says, my name is Carnage. I am a symbiote, an alien from another dimension. You're the only one that seemed to, be suitable for my needs. As Deku says, let me guess. Carnage, you want mass destruction and murder. As he says, yes. As then Deku just immediately grabs the face of Carnage, pulls him towards him, and just tells him, no, I'm in control. You listen to me for right now, until you and me get a better understanding of each other. Got it? As Carnage laughs, says, you're not in control, I am. As, for some reason, Carnage is trying to move Midoriya's arms. Like, Carnage is basically, like, surrounding Deku, making the full-on, like, sharp claws and mouth with teeth, as you see in the picture, like that. I mean, regular Carnage. But for some reason, he ain't moving. As Deku just starts laughing, he goes, you really think you can control me? You. As this is scaring Carnage. Like, literally, he has never felt fear before. This is, like, new. As basically he says, oh, have a seat. As basically, this, even though, Carnage is a symbiote, they're in his subconscious, as basically he puts Carnage in the CEOs. I need you to understand one thing. I don't let no one control me. No one will ever control me. Got it? Carnage? As Carnage is saying, like, what are you? And if anyone says that, Carnage cannot be controlled, it's a symbiotic relationship, Carnage can control, like, Venom, he can control his hosts, so I'm saying, like, he tries to do it, Deku can't be controlled because he's broken, his mind is broken, his will is not broken, though. His mind, he went, crazy, but in the way of just being heartless and don't care about anything, but his will has become so strong, it's basically, like, Carnage, he's just using pure force of will on Carnage right now, and Carnage cannot do anything. Which is the first time in history for Carnage never to, do anything. So he just, says, alright, he just, like, looking at Carnage, he goes, huh, so, an alien life form, huh? As Carnage says, yeah. He goes, alright, as basically Deku is controlling himself by, he literally makes this symbiote, detach, deform, and he says, okay, kid, tell me your story. As Deku just throws him, like, he just opens up a door and says, go right in. enjoy yourself. And then he technically, like, goes out of subconscious, opens up his eyes, and just starts walking away. As Carnage sees everything what Deku went through, all the pain, all the suffering, all the misery, his father left him, his psyche broke, that he went out and go fight anybody only at the age of 9 years old, and yet he was hurt from a villain. They were taken care of by a hero very easily. Deku was in the hospital, he got stitches and, well, even healed up, but still, he went to a psychiatric hospital for his mind, and then he made another version of himself to take his place until he, is 100% like stable. And this one went through the exact same thing he was already going through after he came back from the hospital and all that. And well, he understood why, and he just asked, "Why don't you want?" After seeing all that, he does come out, and he then like comes out in a snake form head, and he goes, "Why don't you want to hurt them who hurt you?" He says, "What's the point of doing that? You can just watch their lives boil it down to one point where they regret everything they've done." As this is a smile on Deku, which Carnage understands, but he's more of a killer, so he's like, but it's more fun to watch them miserable, scream in pain. He goes, yeah, that's fun, but it doesn't last as long. Carnage says, explain as Deku does. He explains how if someone that he knows did something bad to him, he can become successful as they try hard and they'll like keep on, hating him for what he's doing, and it's just fun because they're just hating him because they can't do it. So he gets even more successful, and they start being miserable and all that. As Carnage is blinking and Carnage is just in shock. He goes, "Okay, that is kind of horrible. More horrible than killing anyone." Yeesh. As then Deku asks him, "So what's about you? Like, tell me who you are." As he explains, he's a symbiote, an alien life form that can reproduce without a mate. As Carter's not gonna produce toxic. He's not he's not gonna produce him in this. What if say like years later, sort of thing. No wait, Toxic was already born when my Toxic was already born as sorry. Yeah, Toxin was already born after Cletus died, so he was already around. So yeah. Anyways, he explains that he was attached to his host / partner, or should I say, his true self, as he called Cletus, a person that was a murderer like him. But he was in control. Carnage went along with it because it was a lot more fun. He was twisted in the mind. He saw how the world really was, and then he asked Deku, "Do you feel any of my influence in you? Because I am trying to influence you right now." As Deku says, "Yeah, I'm just ignoring it." And he goes, "Huh? Okay, so if I try to influence you during your sleep," he goes, "I don't sleep." He goes, "Wait, what?" "I literally don't sleep. I can't." He goes, "Oh. Sleep is on me yet?" He just says you have some sleeping problems. He goes, "Yeah, it's more like the memories come back as nightmares, and yeah, I haven't slept. I can only sleep peacefully when I'm unconscious. Well, more like when I get my lights knocked out, or I go to a place every month or so to get some sleep. It's every 2 weeks. I mean, every day. I don't live at home. I live at home until the night, and then I go to a place that helps me sleep, and then I come back, and yeah." As he goes, "Oh, so that's the place where you go to?" And he says, "Yeah, but I don't think I need to go there anymore." He goes, "Huh? Well, you're kind of like a parasite. You're supposed to help me out, and I'm supposed to help you out, right?" As Carter says, "Yeah, that's the basic gist of it." And he goes, so, let's work together. And he goes, huh. He goes, well, I want to try to become a hero. I was going to become a hero because, well, of All Might, but now I want to become a hero for my own reasons. As he just says, because it'll be a lot of fun to try to hold yourself back. And he goes, that, and also I can save people's lives, and I don't have to worry about becoming a villain because, one, my mom cares about me way too much, and she's the only person I care about in this world. And Carnage says, alright, I understand. So, Carnage and him make some rules. Carnage's rule is, he explains about the powers and all that, what he has. He increased Midoriya's speed, reflexes, power, agility, gave him a sixth sense, a spidey sense. His stamina is also increased. He can crawl on walls, he can make webs, he can then make tentacles that can come out of his body from the symbiote and then turn them also into weapons and such. He also says he can also he can control people and make them see or do what he wants. He does tell him he was immune to fire, but he has a resistance to fire. He was weak to sound, but then he got rid of that. But since the magic won't work, the magic isn't around this world, so he has no weaknesses. As basically he says, cool, so I don't have to worry about anything. And he goes, yeah, and just. I'm gonna help you kind of trying to get some feeling back into you about people. He goes, okay, so wait, you're gonna try and make me feel happy and such? And he goes, yeah, kinda. I'm gonna research it. I'm gonna try and help you, and then we're gonna have some fun. He goes, we're not killing people. He goes, no. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna have you train to get you used to the power. It'd be really intoxicating. As Deku just says, sure, whatever. So, though, I'm gonna have him meet somebody, a student from UA that he's gonna meet. So, as Deku and Carnage starts talking, Carnage says he is hungry, he hasn't eaten in a while. Deku does go on his back, he says he has some chocolate. As he goes, huh. So, Deku eats the chocolate, and Carnage does like it. He likes it, I think I just want to put the chocolate in there as a reference towards the Venom movie, so yeah, I want to put that in. I'm saying this version, Carnage never tried chocolate, but he likes it, so it says it's good. He goes, that's good. He goes, oh, I mean, he also then told them about how Cletus's blood, he was a part of it, so if he ever was removed by anyone else, he'll then reform right onto him instantly. He even told him about the super regeneration. He can cut off a limb, Carnage will make it go right back on, even replacing or making a new kidney or stomach or gallbladder or whatever organs missing. Carnage will keep him alive. He will not let him die. As he says, so I basically have a freaking OP power right now as a partner. An OP power / partner who basically won't let me die. As he says, yep. He just says, alright, Carnage, let's have some fun. He goes, yeah. As Deku's walking down the street which there's not any people there still, he sees a girl being taken away by some men into a car as she's screaming no, as basically Carnage just tells Midoriya, well, Deku says Midoriya says Izuku, just you want me to do this or should I let you? And he goes, let me, I want to try this power out. Because alright, just remember, you're a danger to everyone on this planet. I've killed countless people with Cletus Cassidy. Even the strongest people couldn't even defeat us. As he goes, huh, alright. As basically, Deku has a symbiote form around him. He gets the teeth, the claws, even the sharp nails. As he just says, "This is fun," and he just starts. He puts the bag into the symbiote, as he just starts running towards the car. As the girl gets into the car, as Deku jumps from building to building, and he's moving really fast. Excuse me. He doesn't need to web swing to even keep up with them, as they don't even see. As Carnage does tell him while he's in control, saying that he can anything he needs, he can make. He says though he can't do weapons for a very long time, and also though he can do a sort of camouflage. He goes, all right. As when they're getting away from the houses, this is you dig into the buildings. He starts web swinging, which Carnage is pretty, just helping him out with it, stabilizing him, making sure that he doesn't fall. As he's saying to Carnage, he said, "Huh, this is really fun." He goes, "Oh, you should have seen Spider-Man." Man, that guy knew how to freaking web swing. I mean, Cleus didn't copy it, but me and my old man, me and my father was pretty impressed by him. Actually, my dad was the one who actually got these abilities from him, which then I took. And he goes, huh? Venom, my dad. And he goes, / mom. Goes, huh? Yeah, I'm the angry and the chaos, side of what my dad had. He goes, why I ain't being offended? He goes, kid, your mind is so broken, I can't even influence you. Honestly, it's even amazing you're even able to speak. As Deku's just chuckling within the symbiote. As then he says, alright, let's end this. So he he just starts swinging faster and faster, and then he does a big swing down into the cars and then up and let's go. As basically we're going to the car. As the girl is saying, what are you gonna do with me? They say, easy, we're gonna have your dad give us the ransom money that we asked for, and if he doesn't give us it, we're gonna do kill you or put you somewhere where you could be useful, and we can get some money for you. As she's terrified, as basically they don't see Deku. Well, they don't see Carnage and Deku, swinging. As then next thing they hear a thud. As basically next thing you know, one of the guys says, "Hey, boss," and then they see a claw go right through the car, as then it rips a hole. So we're going back to where Deku is, though. As he gets to the car, the top of the van, actually, it's a van. As then he puts his hand through the car, rips a hole, and the guy says, "What are you?" "We are Carnage," and then multiple tentacles starting to get the guys before they can use their quirks, and he just throws them out of the van and shoots webs. As then the guy is saying, "What are you, a hero?" He goes, "I'm no hero. I'm just somebody that didn't want this girl to go to any harm." As then he basically just gets the girl, uses his tendrils to basically he just gets the girl with his tendrils, gets it over to his arm, as he basically jumps out, uses other tendrils to form a freaking knife, a version of a knife, but it's his whole entire arm is a sword, and just slashes right down into it. I know he can make an axe, but I'm saying he has more influence to do stuff like this. As he does make it very long, and it slashes right through the car, which is the car is just the van just basically drives a little and then goes to both sides, just fall down. And the guy's just saying, "What is this freak?" As the police are coming, and Carnage and Deku walks over to the guy, webs his hands up and his body to the seat, and he sees the guys up on the in the webs, and he's just smiling and laughing. He goes, I know that's not what it's like, but I think it's just a good one. So, as Momo was saying, are you just like them? They're willing to get a. As he says, no, girl, I don't want anything. I just didn't want anything bad to happen to you. As she asks, though, she asks, who are you? He goes, didn't you hear me? We are Carnage. As she goes, hey, I heard you, but who are you? Underneath that, as she's about to touch the Carnage, well, the Izuku, well, the symbiote basically, as he just says, as he grabs her arm with not the sharp claws and everything, just a normal hand, and she goes, and she just says, why? What's more fun, keeping a mystery, or knowing right away? As basically the cops are coming. As he does says, see you around. She says Momo Yarozu. As he goes, see you around, Momo Yarozu. As he just runs, jumps, and web swings away. And as basically, people took pictures, sightings, of someone in a red suit that has, as then, Deku was like on top of a building, he says, hey, Carnage. Well, why does the design, on you was like red and black? As then he says about the blood thing though, like, could he do it? And he just, sure, just, prick yourself or something. As Deku just kind of like makes a claw and, cuts his hand open a little. As Carnage does go into his bloodstream. He doesn't want to have, as he said, Carnage was ripped away from his previous user once, and he doesn't want to have that happen again, so he thought the blood thing would be a good idea. So he became part of his blood now, as Carnage does form onto him. As he just says, alright, so, how was that? Pretty fun, right? He goes, chasing was fun. Seeing their faces and freaking out was fun. The whole time you're not killing wasn't, but I could get used to it. And he goes, so the murderer monsters getting used to saving people already. He goes, hey, it's all because of your personality. I adapt to your personality, kid. And he goes, alright. So me being heartless, you're adapting to it. And he goes, yeah, I'm being more, calmer about everything. I mean, of course I do want to do destruction, but it's okay on a minor scale, which we did. You should have seen the guy's face when he saw you walked over. And I didn't even know I can even make a sword. It seems like, with you around, it's gonna be a lot more different than Cletus. Or maybe a little more entertainment. And then, so, this was like, it's like 2:30 now when they're on top of the building. Right, no, it was like 1, and then like 30 minutes later he saw Momo. Then he chased them for about a good 15 minutes, and it's only like 1:55. So yeah, so they walk around for 2 hours. He gets books and such just to read, so that Carnage can get more information about this world and such. So he got like the quirks and how they work and like what different types of one, as Carnage is basically understanding it. He's understanding this world that everyone has power, not just certain people, and that is very strange. As Carnage does say that, hey, can you get a book on DNA? I have something maybe I can do. As I'm thinking of. As he gets a book on, he goes to like a little library store where they can just get like say like like Barnes and Nobles. Yeah, it's a place like that where you can just grab a book and read and then put it back. So what he does, he gets a book on DNA and the quirk DNA and gene. As he gets done with it relatively quickly. As Carnage does say, all right, let me check something. As he waits like a couple minutes, and Carnage says, turns out you actually had the quirk gene. It's very small, but everyone has it now, as it seems like. As Deku kind of says, huh, that's interesting. So did I have a quirk or something? He goes, no, there wasn't any evidence of you having a quirk, since you do have that double joint. But, nonetheless, since you have the quirk gene, I'm able to copy it a little bit. As he goes, what do you mean? He goes, oh, I'm able to copy people's quirks. He goes, what? He goes, even though I'm just a symbiote, I adapt to my surroundings and to my host. Since you have a gene that, basically is a quirk, gene, it's different from what I was used to. I adapted. I may be able to take the DNA of others and put it into yours so that way you have, he basically says, he actually asks Midori if he can just move his arms, and he does, as then he does the quotation, says, quote, quirk. As he says, it's a quirk that's basically permanent to you. It's sort of a quirk, basically. It's not really, but yeah. As Deku understands, so he says, so it will be a quirk because I can use it and I'll have it, but it won't be, as he says, it won't be an actual quirk. But you won't have the weaknesses. You have all the strength, but none of the weaknesses. And even if I'm gone, you'll still have those because I'm putting a part of your DNA. And he goes, okay. So he does kind of think of wondering about he goes to a counter and just orders something he's trying to figure out, as he says, when did this place came up as guy comes up and says this place was made in 2017. I mean not 2017. I think they're 20 something thousand, 21. I never gave the year, so let's say it's 2175 in My Hero Academia. And they said this was born Barnes and Noble was born in this, or the store that's born. Yeah, let's just say it's I said it was Barnes and Nobles. That was in my head, so yeah. So let's just say the store was made in 2021, and it's been opened ever since, and the business has gone so good. And he goes, how do you know this? Deku asks. He says, oh, I have a perfect memory quirk. I'm allowed to remember everything, and I can store everything in my head. And anything I learn from watching any videos and such, I can copy it perfectly, along with remembering audio from people's voices and such, even picture memory, so I can always tell what's the difference or not. As then Carnage, says, let's test it out. As he makes a little fly version of himself, as he flies over to the guy, he then changes into a mosquito, so he gets a little bit of the guy's blood, goes over back to Deku, free form, he goes back into his body, and basically then Deku's starting to get all this knowledge. Basically he copied the guy's quirk and all. He got all the memories of the guy too. He made it part of his DNA. He got all the memories and knowledge that the guy had, and so he's very good. This was a businessman, so Deku got all this knowledge of business. As then he goes, so thanks for telling me, sir. He goes, no problem. And also, he says, oh, I'm a businessman and, a historian. So, history is always a good subject for me to read on. He goes, with your quirk, I bet you get, a lot of business. He goes, yes, but it is quite tough because of, my quirk isn't strong and usable that much. He goes, no, your quirk is very good. Just, work on it. Work on fighting styles. You're probably going to, remember the fighting style and do it perfectly. As he says, thank you. And, the guy leaves. Carnage says, you just said that because you thought of it. You could use that too. He goes, yeah, am I right? And Carnage says, of course you are. Seriously, who would have thought that this world I've been to has a lot of entertainment not to want to, do what I did back in New York City. As Deku goes, we got our own New York. He goes, well, do you have your own Spider-Man? And he goes, no. He goes, then I don't want to go. This is way too much fun. As Deku just says, wow, Carnage, you really are enjoying Japan that much? He goes, of course! All different. It's very different from New York. A lot more interest. So, yeah. So, after that, they meet a guy with a... they just meet a guy, let's say like a that's like a weapon, like he just goes into like a airsoft place, like just like yeah, airsoft guns and such, because he just wanted to look at them because he wanted to like to know the budget if he ever wanted to like test it out, see like how good his accuracy would be with, so that way he can like try to aim his webs with, even though like on his own without Carnage's help. So yeah, Carnage does tell him he can like do this while the training during the 10 months, and yeah. But you know, Carnage does tell him though he can probably use this as a good thing for himself to use as a web cannon like Spider-Man had, and he just like explained though what Spider-Man could do, like different things. He used like web balls and such. He used some technology. He was a scientist. Well, he was a nerd. He was like a scientist, so it was very hard to beat him sometimes. But it was very easy to overwhelm him in pure strength and speed and power, just not in the smart intelligence. Because Cleus was not that, intelligent wise. But you seem to be a quirk, as he says, nerd. Sorry. He goes, no, it's true. So yeah. So the guy who runs the shop is a weapons expert slash. Like his quirk is like he can make a bow and he can use any material to make like a bow and arrow. Say like a pencil, he just has to like touch it and then it'll like turn to like a bow and arrow or such. Or he can just like make one. That's the only thing he can ever make. That's his like a creation. No, like a bow and arrow just like always will be with him at all times. So like only one creation like quirk. It's not very strong, but he can only create like a bow and arrow and like other weapons and such, but nothing else. So Venom says this could be good, as he basically like does the exact same thing, and Deku like sees why the guy said that his quirk wasn't. He asked the guy about like weapons and such, and he then like did give his like the history of some of them like on the airsoft guns. Like how they like go around the world and such. You can like do some things with it in like tournaments and get some real money, and like there's even like some events in Japan for it, which surprised Deku because he didn't know about that. And then he also then tells him about that how he actually some of these guns he actually made himself. With his quirk, as he explained it to him, that he can create like certain like weapons that aren't like lethal for like use. As Deku says, really? Yeah, I mean, he can only create like the frames of an airsoft gun and a bow and arrow, but with no arrows, just a bow. He can create a bow, create an airsoft gun frame. He can do all this and that, but he can't, do it to the point where he can, create an actual physical like weapon. He can only like use like non-lethal weapons, which was kind of weird to him and his family, but it actually turned out to be the best. He was a hero for a good couple of years until he retired, and that surprised Deku. He goes, "So your quirk was a hero? You're like a hero quirk." Hey, his eyes lit up, which surprised Carnage, and he goes, yeah, I mean, I wasn't the top 20, I was in the top 30, as Deku says, no, that's amazing. So, you had non-lethal weapons to create, and you had a whole entire arsenal of it. Have you ever tried to create an actual, like, lethal weapon? He goes, it didn't work out one time. It was only one time he tried to create one, it didn't work. So, the only weapons he created was, like, firearms, basically, like the airsoft cannon, like the airsoft guns, but he was mostly used like for reconnaissance or to go in stealth wise. But he does tell him about like the arrows and stuff that he can create. And he goes, wait, what? He said you couldn't create arrows. No, he goes, oh, by hand. You see, I mean, I'm able to create firearms and weapons that requires that I also have to like mix into like to have like a stun, like electric current going through them. The blades are very dull and very weak, but the electric current is very strong to knock out somebody instantly, to KO them basically. And so that surprised Deku. And even Carnage, he says, so I copied this guy's quirk, and this is amazing. So we can really create like an electric current going through me now. Huh. I wonder how that's gonna affect me. As, he's kind of like messing around with Deku's DNA and such, like to make his body more stronger and faster, like to give it a bigger boost as such. As then he kind of like sees that Deku's, and him really does have like a perfect like symbiotic relationship. Actually, he only saw this in Cletus, and this was like very strange for him, and yet Deku to like Izuku to him is like now like his very like good friend slash partner and such. So yeah. So that happens. He like showed him the back about how he had like cut like arrows that had like air. So like if you ever seen like Green Arrow and stuff, like he can like create like arrows that have air cannon through it, as when it hits somebody it like pushes them back into a wall or such. As like he even has like a arrow that can wrap around people and such. As Carnage is taking mental notes along with Deku, because they think they can do this with the symbiote. Well, Deku can think he used Carnage, the symbiote, as a tool for this, which I'm making it that way. So he tells him that they'll be back. He'll be back sometime soon. As the guy says, well, thank you for letting the old man tell you his stories, as this guy's in his like late 70s. So yeah. Anyway, he says no, thank you for everything. As Carter says, okay, you and me were thinking the same thing. He goes, right? He goes, yeah, we're probably gonna make some items and such to do what that guy did, when he was a hero. He goes, yeah. As Deku like says, so as he basically makes, he goes into the alleyway and he creates a, as he opens up his hand, as suddenly a handle appears, and when he pulls it out, it's not a regular knife. It's basically the knife. It has electricity. The whole entire thing is electricity. As Deku says, "What the?" As even Carnage is shocked, and he goes, "I don't know. He said knives that weren't that strong, but he never said electricity." Deku says, didn't you do something?" He goes, "Yeah, I messed around with your DNA to make you a lot more stronger, faster on your own, basically. Just to, like, help you improve yourself. But I must have done something to the quirk then, too. I must have made it stronger, or different." As Deku says, "I think you made it non-lethal. Like, the guy's quirk was already non-lethal, but I think you made it, like, to the point where it isn't." As Deku, like, kind of slides the knife on the wall, as there's, like, no cut. He says, "Yeah, this thing can't even cut no one." So basically we have, like, a non-lethal arsenal now. And Carter says, "And a lethal one, don't forget, the claws, the big giant sword out of the arm, and the axe that you can create with the tendrils." It was true. So let's do it with the non-lethal quirk for a while. It was agreed. We won't do that when it's necessary. Yeah. So after that, that like took a good while. So it's like 4 something. So Bakugou, does get attacked by the sludge villain. Explosion happens. Deku follow it, and he sees Bakugou, and he just smiles. And he goes, he gets stabbed in the hand, and then this happens. So Deku goes into an alleyway. He goes, "I don't know why I'm even saving him, but honestly, I want to see the look on his face when I do." As he turns into actual Carnage. Teeth, claws, all that. As he jumps up through on the wall, jumps side to side, and then when he gets up to half of it, he starts wall crawling, wall climbing on it. As he just says, "Can I do this without this Venom suit? I mean, not the Venom suit, without the Carnage symbiote on me?" He goes, "Of course." And he goes, "Cool." And he says, "Wow, you've been on me for like a couple of hours, and you already calmed down significantly from when I saw you when we first interacted." He goes, "Yeah, you're not making it easy, kid, so I figure it's better off to work with you than against you." He goes, "Smart, yeah." So then when Deku jumps down from the roof and he lands, it's like, it does crack the ground, as Carnage, as he sees Bakugo, as Bakugo's just thinking to himself as he sees, is like, what is he? As Deku then right away creates a bow and arrow. Well, not a bow and arrow, a bow. I just say bow and arrow a lot. I'm sorry. As then he uses this. He started creating though an arrow of pure electricity. Well, not electricity. He creates the arrow with an electric point. As he pulls it back, everyone's seeing this. As then he releases it, but then he moves right away. So when the arrow, the freaking sludge villain does move out of the way, but then all of a sudden Deku's right in front of him, claws out. Looks like one hand with claws, it's the left hand that has the claws out, and then as the other hand just has the tendrils. Grabs Bakugo, rips him out immediately, so hard the sludge villain couldn't even feel it, couldn't even stop it. As then Deku just slashes right for the sludge villain, but he uses the creation to the creation non-lethal quirk. Now I'm calling the non-lethal creation quirk, as in he basically creates tips, metal tips on the claws that has, it just has electricity. As when he slashes right through the sludge villain, he gets electrified. As then that happens, Bakugo gets saved. He asks, "What are you?" And he just smiles and just jumps off and swings away. So after that happens, he goes home right away. He tells his mom what happened. He shows her Carnage. Carnage explains who he was in the past. Now since he's with Midoriya, he's somehow mellowed down a lot. It's just he's easier to work with. And plus, it's a lot more fun what they did. So, yeah. All in all, Carnage is gonna be a good guy, as he's gonna tell Midoriya his way of thinking, and they're gonna fight, but they're gonna get along. So yeah, we're just gonna skip for the 10 months. They go to the Deku beach and train. He gets some armor, because not armor. He gets he finds a bulletproof vest. He finds some boots, commando boots, army boots or something. He finds some wrist blades like Batman, where he can just inject them, and they can be flying. As then so he gets that. He then finds a mask. He puts it on that has a smile. As then that is just when it goes around his face. No. Let's say it's the Oni mask, and an ancient Oni mask. The guy says it's not used. It's only used for decoration. But Deku kind of covers it on his face, and then the symbiote goes around it, as it covers it. As basically that is Deku, how he's gonna look. As that's when he was at home. He put it on. So yeah, those 10 months he trains with it. He gets really good with both quirks and memory quirk. The perfect memory quirk, he trained. He worked on his body. He was able to lift things way more easier with So yeah, he's grateful for Carnage for what he did. He manipulated his DNA and he got stronger. He helped him get a lot more powerful, way more easier, and exercise way more easier. So he increased his overall health abilities, make him better than what he was. So yeah, then it comes to the UA. As Deku tells his mom he's gonna head off, she tells him and Carnage to be safe and don't do anything, and don't kill anyone. As they both just says, "Okay, Mom, we're not gonna kill anyone." As they collapse, as you two are just perfect sync, and they both just said, "Please be quiet on that." I mean, of course, Deku has gone to fights at night, so he has made claw marks into the building, and it just says let's just say he makes a just random claw marks, and it says the Beast, as everyone calls him the Beast, the red creature that what it did with the sludge villain and like the one that saved Momo. They call him the Beast. And Carnage laughs. He goes, "Why won't you know? Why you didn't say Carnage?" He goes, "Because that's gonna be our hero name." And he goes, "Cool. Also, those guys' bones you broke last week were really hard. Like, they're gonna be really hard to fix." And he goes, "I know." He's brutal, like, in fights. So Deku got like combat training through like YouTube videos and such, which he practiced multiple times, even like a staff, which Carnage like put into his arsenal. Like for the symbiote, he just puts it on as his clothing is basically a red jacket, which is just like the symbiote, which he can shapeshift to make a clothing. A red jacket with a spider on the back. That's like how it's gonna be with his armor. There's gonna be a spider like on the chest, and like these eyes are gonna be be on the mask with the Oni mask on. He'll be able to like take it off, like bring it down, and that's when they'll be able to see his face. So yeah, so he gets to UA. He does the test. He gets done really easily. The way he studies is he got all these books online and just studied it, and he remembered everything perfectly. So he got it all, and he even like did the correct Nezu on a few questions. He only did 5 questions because he wanted to seem like he was smart, but he wasn't that smart. So yeah, so he like started creating his own gear and added onto his more arsenal because his perfect memory. He like not Nezu, Deku and Carnage. Carnage is thinking more of tactical way now instead of like brute force and harming people because of Deku's influence. So he's thinking more tactical, more advanced, more of a hero like way, but it's still like more of a brutal way of hurting people. But yeah. So Deku has created more, like he has created stuff which he asked Carnage, could he like put like spare parts and such, like if we need anything to create where we can you don't have to use like an arrow that we can just create out of, from our basically creation quirk that's where we can add the tip onto it. He just like we have those parts in us already, so he goes, yeah, we probably can. Basically he absorbed a couple of those parts and such as he realized he can actually create them inside himself now. Like he can create these little parts as they like have like a flash arrow where it just like makes a beam of light when it like hits something, as then it like has like a taser arrow which they basically create by just using the quirk itself, without adding on to it. But the technology that Carnage absorbed, so yeah. He can create anything now. Carnage has learned multiple things, multiple items to create that he can. So he has like a wider range of stuff he can do now. And they actually learn what they can do with the creation quirk is anything that's non-lethal, they can actually create on their own. But it does take some energy and like some, like he has to eat some stuff, so that is the thing. Carnage does eat along with Deku. Deku eats more than what he should. Well, people think he should, but he does eat. Like when Carnage is starting to get hungry, he just eats chocolate. He can like eat anything, and Carnage will be satisfied with it. So yeah. So when President Mike sees him, like after the Rin test is done so easily, President Mike sees him, and and already waiting. He goes, "Huh, you're the first person here." He goes like, "Yeah. So what? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna win this thing." And he says, "Oh, all right. If you do, I'll be rooting for your kid." And then Deku says, "Thanks." Then he says, "Hey, you want to make a little wager?" He goes like, "Nah, I can't do it with kids. With students, future students." He goes like, "Come on, I ain't a student yet. Who knows if I'll win or not?" He goes, "Well, you said you would." He goes, "Yeah, but that's just me being cocky. So, want to make a little wager?" He goes, "Sure." He goes, "All right. So, if I get into UA, what's your name?" "President Mike," he tells him. "Alright, President Mike, if I win, you have to do me a favor. And he goes, sure. What is it? You gotta give me a tour of the whole entire school. He goes, seriously? He goes, yeah. He goes, alright. What happens if I win? And you don't get any UA? I don't know, I can help you out with anything you want. And he goes, deal. I can use the help. And he goes, actually, even if I win, I'll help you out. He goes, wait, seriously? He goes, yeah. What do you do? He goes, radio station. And he goes, huh. Okay, that can help out with me, actually. Good conversations. Yeah. Also, no. He goes, oh yeah, that guy you were talking about a while back. He goes, yeah, I don't think he can ever come here. So we don't have to worry. If he does, what are we gonna do? Kill him. Alright. So, yeah. So, President Mike, everyone gets in. Bakugo sits next to Deku. Deku looks a lot different, a lot more muscular, and way more fit than what Bakugo remembers. He even got a little bit taller. And Bakugo says, Deku. And Deku looks at him and he goes like, oh. Sup? How's your hand doing? He goes, fine. You? Better than what I ever have been. As he just smiles, he goes, also, how was your, didn't you have a girlfriend a while back? And he goes, yeah. She broke up with me. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry. He goes, no, you're not. Yeah, I'm not. He just laughs. He goes, man, why she called you a freaking jerk? He just says, she says I yelled too much and had way too many anger issues. She literally told me, why couldn't I be more like you? As he goes, ooh, that had to hurt. But she's true. She is right. Why couldn't you be? It's because I ain't a nerd and I ain't quirkless. I'm awesome. He goes, yeah, overconfidence. So, yeah, Deku is just, he's heartless, but no, he has like a little bit of a cocky / teasing attitude towards people. Carnage has, said he should really work on his people skills. Just a little. And his mom, he can act nice to his mom and to people he doesn't know, but to people he does know, he will be this way. That those people that made him angry. So yeah. So President Mike goes through the 3-pointer, the 1-pointer, and the 2-pointer. Well, no, it's 3, 2, and 1. When the 0-pointer comes up, Ida does say something. Well, is about to say something when Deku says, "Hey, 4 eyes." He goes, "Huh?" And he just webs his mouth up and he just says, "Mike, don't worry about him. Just ignore him." I just webbed his mouth. He goes, "Use your quirk on him?" He goes, "Yeah, kinda webbing. Don't worry, it won't harm him." As he was trying to rip it off, and Bakugou goes to himself, "Wait, what? Was that a quirk? No. How did he get a quirk? What's going on?" So he's freaking out. So pretend like my Deku. I'm trying to think. Give me a minute. All right. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was my cremation. Got cremation. My Deku got cremation where I did have the exact same thing happen. So like, Bakugo was just freaking out like that, and mentally. As President Mike says, "Thank you, Izuku Midoriya." Now then. The 0-pointer is just an obstacle. There's really not much to explain because there's no points. It's more of an obstacle than anything else, so don't mind it, okay? Run from it. And Deku and Connor are saying, yeah, right, we're just gonna destroy that to themselves. So, when Ida, the Delta explanation is done, Deku just makes like a red claw, one on his finger, which Bakugo sees. Even Ida sees that. He just tells Ida, if you don't want to get hurt, stand still. As, he just, gets the weapon off. He goes, he says, that was very disrespectful. And he goes, yeah, President Mike, already explained about the 0-pointer before you even said anything, and I did not want to hear you talk. And I just want President Mike to get it done. He's a pro hero. You should give him the respect that he deserves. If not done, there's the door. As he points to the door, saying, you can go right on out of here and not be a hero. If you really think I'm being disrespectful, you probably are just, I don't know, some kid who thinks he's better than everyone else just because he may have a hero family or something. Because the way you act, it seems like it. As he just says, "How did you know?" He goes, "Oh, so you are part of your hero family. All right. Here's a little advice for you. Not everyone cares about you, what you say. Nobody cares about what you say." And then he walks away from Ida. Mitch Bakugou saying, That is really, really a freaking jerk thing to do." And then he remembers something he did to Deku about what he said that exactly the same words. And he goes, "Oh, okay, I think I get what he's doing." As Carnage just says, "Did you really just have to reference that Bakugou guy?" He goes, "Yeah, I showed him what he's like." Funny, right? He laughs. Carnage laughs a little. He goes, "Yeah." So, Deku and Carnage get to the area that they need to go to. Carnage, looking around everywhere as, he basically tells Deku, there's a girl there that, you should probably, go cheer up and not be a jerk about it. And he goes, "Fine." So Deku walking over to Uraraka. Ida sees it. He's walking over to Deku. As when he's about to put his hand onto Deku, the Spider Sense kick in and Deku just jumps right over him. And goes right behind Ida, lands like if he was actually like Spider-Man. Say one leg out, one he lands on he just lands like Spider-Man. I was gonna describe how it was, but you can think of any form like Spider-Man. So yeah, one hand's on the ground, one hand's up in the air. That's the way I want to do it. As Ida says, he goes, "Jeez, man. Don't try to do that." Spider Sense kicked in. He goes, "What?" He goes, "It's a joke. It's a sixth sense I have. I just made a joke about." He goes, "Alright. Why are you going to that girl?" He goes, "Well, she looks like she needs someone to talk to. Looks like she's nervous. So yeah. Got a problem with that, Four Eyes?" As he goes, "My name is Ida Tenya." And he goes, "Izuku Midoriya." "Okay, Ida, can you not try to bug me? I'm just trying to make sure she doesn't fail this. So, bye." As he kind of walks past Ida, bumps him in the arm, just not even caring. As Ida says, "What's his problem, ruffian?" As when he gets over, when he gets over to Araki, he asks her what's wrong. She says she's just kind of nervous, and he goes, "Well, yeah, it's the top school, but hey, if you try your hardest, you probably will, get in. But your quirk," she says, "zero gravity. She can make heavier things light, but she does overuse it. She'll throw up a lot." As he just says, "Ugh, God. Alright, here's the thing. Try to be in a group of people that need actually help, and by you helping them, you get some points. Alright? So do it that way, you probably can get in." She says, "Thank you for that." He has "No problem." As he goes right back to the middle. As Carter says, "Alright, that was good, but it's kind of a jerk thing to do. I mean, kind of a jerky way of saying it." And he just says, "Yeah, my people skills suck." As he says, "Well, we can work on it, but, it takes time." He goes, "Yeah, I know." So, President Mike starts talking. Deku gets on basically the suit with his regular, the Venom suit, Venom / Agent Venom suit. But it's just a Carnage version of it, of his own from that with Deku. As basically, they all see this, as, President Mike said, the door's about to open. Deku just immediately webs the door, pulls himself forward. By what I mean by web the door, he shoots webs up to the door, he pulls himself forward, he goes flying over the door, and just starts web swinging through it. Through this mock city. President Mike says, "What are you guys doing? Why are you guys not doing what he's doing? Follow his lead. Go, 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 go." And yeah, so let's just say 30 minutes are going by. Deku has smashed right through robots. He's actually literally using the claws to, basically just go right through robots and such, and not using the quirk for non-lethal. So while he's doing this, he's basically tearing right through them. He's using the tendrils, he's using the claws, he's basically just doing that, and it's just ripping and tearing everything. He's going so fast, he's taking out multiple robots. He takes down 1, 2, and 3 pointers so easily that it's setting like a new record. He went past All Might's record, I think it was like 150, so he's like in the 360 range. Well, he's in the 300 range as he stops. As basically Nezu and everyone else, and that's all the heroes that are watching, including All Might, are all shocked by this. As basically he says, alright, let's hit out the 0 pointer, because it is almost time that this is going to end. So yeah, so Deku's a little bit farther away as he hears like the booming sound, so he like web swings over to it, and then like he sees like people running away. He sees the 0 pointer, and Carnage and him just smile, and like the teeth are showing, even though the mask is on, the teeth are just showing with it. And so, but then they hear screaming, and it's just Uraraka. He looks down, he sees her. Well, he sees the girl he talked to, as Connor says, alright, Mr. Hero, time for you to go to work, as he nods. So he just jumps right off the building, kind of does a swine dive, spin a web, swings, starts swinging, does some acrobatics, and just starts swinging, and then he, grabs the rubble, swings right over the rubble, shoots a web at it, and yanks it right off her, and then hits the robot. Also, in the meantime, it goes, and then what he actually does, he actually creates like a symbiotic, and he creates, a staff out of like the symbiote suit as he throws it to her, and he says, "You just have to get us away as soon as possible." As she grabs it and just starts wobbling over to everyone else. As Deku and Carnage just says, as Deku says, "Let's go all out." As Carnage says, "Time to cause carnage and mayhem." As this, they kind of just turn. Like Carnage like gets some wings. I think I'm going with. Like, he can create, like, wings and such with the symbiote suit. And then he just kind of, like, no, let's not do it. As, Deku just, like, swings up. As he gets right on top of the robot, as he just claws his way right through it. As everyone's seen it, Deku's just smashing through the robot, creating everything he can use. Just, like, claws, axes, hammers, even pieces that the attachments just start using them as weapons. So he creates symbiote weapons of swords and just starts slashing right through as they're cutting through every single little piece of the robot as he's then going up to it. So when he gets up to the robot's neck, he just starts slashing right through it. And then he's like right on top of the robot. Everyone sees it as then Deku just immediately using the claws and his hands just to basically pulling the robot's head off. As it's just like the heroes are thinking, is he crazy? And when he does, he literally takes off the head. He just starts laughing. Like, he just starts saying, "That was too easy," and he throws it to right behind the robot. So what he does, he jumps, creates like a bigger fist, and punches the robot to go flying to where the head is. As it's like, going that way. And it's blowing up too. As Deku then kind of just immediately is doing like a free falling, and then all of a sudden turns his body in a way that no one thought was possible, and he does a web. He shoots a web and just starts swinging, and it lands. And then that's when the timer goes out, and then like the symbiotic suit just like retracts into the jacket form of it, and he goes, "Easy as pie." And that was pretty fun. So yeah. So after that, everyone's in shock. Deku walks over to Uraraka, and he says, "Hey, alright?" She says, "I'm fine, and thank you for, saving me." He goes, "No problem. But hey, can I have that back?" And, he grabs it, and then he basically just, it goes right back into his hands, actually, as she goes, "Your quirk is so amazing." He goes, "Thanks." So yeah, he leaves right away. Then, All Might and everyone else is in shock, as Nezu says, "I want to give him a scholarship," which was quite impressive. So, yeah, Nezu finds Midoriya when they're supposed to get their letters. He finds Midoriya, he goes over to the house with All Might, and they talked about how he passed, and Nezu says he wants to give him a scholarship, and that he can get into UA. Basically, he can start. I mean, UA is gonna be like in a couple of days, so be prepared. And yeah, and that's where this episode's gonna end, everyone. I do hope you enjoy it. I'm trying out on Carnage. I know if you guys don't like it, it's because of the way I made, Carnage be, and I understand that, and I do apologize if you are a Carnage fan and you like the way he is, when he's crazy and psychotic, and all that. And I do apologize, but I was trying to make this a kid friendly. I wasn't gonna make him that crazy. He still is crazy. It's just like you'll see when he like takes over completely if I make Midoriya ever get unconscious. Like he gets knocked out by, I don't know, something like an explosion or something. Alright? Alright. Okay, so you guys be safe. Wear your mask, because of this virus and all. I don't want anyone to get sick. You guys enjoy your day or night wherever you are. Bye everyone.